As we get older into our 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond, osteoporosis is something that we have to think about, so making sure that we, keep our bones strong, keep the muscles strong. So a lot of times we hear that strength training is so good or resistance training, but that's like, where do you start there? What type of exercise is good for osteoporosis? What type of exercises should you start with resistance training? Well, there's a simple kind of pyramid that you should think about with resistance training. The first level of the pyramid is good movement. So you want to make sure that you can do every move correctly. There's no point, for example, say you thinking a single leg deadlift is great, but you're moving all the way through your back. That's more likely to end up with back problems than it is to strengthen the areas you're targeting. So the first element is good movement. And this occurs for osteoporosis, but it's just as valuable for a teenager starting out on the gym for the first time or someone looking at resistance training. So it's just learning the movement. You can see here I have my back aware belt on. So what I'm trying to do is like move through the hips, but keep the core in a good alignment. I can do that with a squat. And I'm just making sure I'm not rounding my back. I'm getting the correct technique. Okay, so we can do that with like Pilates or sports Pilates there. And even though it's more body weight, it's getting us that correct movement, which sets us up for the next level up. Once then we have that, we want to work on a thing called work capacity or anatomical adaptation. What that involves is lighter weights, about like 60% of what you could lift. And we can do various exercises then. We've developed the different types of exercises with our Pilates and our movement. And now we're moving to exercises with weight. So example, for a single leg deadlift, once we have the technique, we can keep the arm in line here, or we can do a row, and that's working the arms and it's working the leg and it's putting pressure through. We can also do that for like holding and coming up and down with our squats. We can do it on the ground. So we can come out, I find my middle, and say we'll just do our press ups and maybe a row. So we've learned a good technique, we're not arching our back, we're holding good technique here, and we're just adding a weight. We're doing those for like 12 to 15 reps, okay? So we're getting the body used to doing that type of work. Once we have that then we can look at making the weight heavier and maybe just doing 5 to 8 reps and then 3 to 5 sets. That's developing the strength. Last thing you can kind of do then is try add in a little bit of power. About 95% of people over the age of 30 will never sprint again. So it's important that we add that little bit of power, but it's all stepped up. So for example, with the single leg deadlift, once you're comfortable with it, we can kind of add a little hop and land. And again, that's going to then, or with our squat here, we can jump and land. But we can only do that if we've done all the layers up to that. And if you have that, then we have a very comprehensive program. Okay, for more information on where to start, just click the link below. We have Pilates classes that build people up, that help with osteoporosis or all kind of that aging that kind of can occur as we get a bit older. We do it safely and effectively based on whatever level you are at the moment.